Hey everybody, Roxanbox90 here with some really cool Magic the Gathering conspiracy, but I want to also just briefly mention, because there's no reason making a separate thread for this, the Ultra Pro product line for Dragon's Next has been released, and I thought we'd just take a look and wow, the artwork is so cool. Why do they need these stupid purple borders, really? I mean, I'm glad they're not like a disgusting orange like we've seen before. But really, do we need to have these borders? The art is so good. Just make it the art. And maybe make like a slight overlay for the stuff. Ugh. But anyway, Farika, gorgeous. This is a killer playmat. Wow. And actually, he's not quite as shrouded on this huge art, and he's blown up. The card is much more difficult to see. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Krufix. Athreos. And Iroas, and then we have Ultra Pro deck boxes, which are actually pretty decent. I have Ultra Pro deck boxes. I like them a lot more than I do the sleeves, so we'll look at the sleeves in a second, but wow, this is so cool. Johnny's so cool. Actually, if you notice, there's like a little squirrel chipmunk thing under his feet. Really awesome. Gotta love that. So that looks great. I love the coloring. I love Johnny art. Then they have here these more Xenagos art, but this art is pretty awful, my opinion, given what we've seen of Xenagos before. And then we have, these are the sleeves blown up, look really good, but the Ultra Pro sleeves with the gloss back tend to not necessarily be the best things ever. I would even go as far as saying they're not really that great. There are, most of the time, better. The problem is that when you have such a type of art on the back of a sleeve, they often tend to be not quite the same quality as a plain black sleeved or a pattern sleeve. But it still looks great, and for newer players who want to get this kind of, represent Ajani or represent Xenagos, I think it's kind of neat. And then the binder itself, we have this Journey into Nyx. I never used an Ultra Pro binder though, so I can't give you any information on that in terms of the quality, but the artwork looks pretty cool on it at least, and that's pretty much what we got here. I don't want to spend too long on it. You guys can look at it yourselves and go check it out. More importantly, we have Dack Fayden. For those who don't know, there's been a comic series going on where Dack Fayden is the main character, and he's been doing all sorts of seeking out involving Theros. And in this latest one, the final one to my knowledge, he and Ashiok cross paths. And Ashiok, for those who forget, was at Theros. We haven't seen hide or hair of him since, but yeah, he's a Planeswalker. So anyway, they cross paths. Dack Fayden's kind of like Ral Zarek, but not. He's a thief, and he's also a Planeswalker. The interesting thing about it is that because he was blue-red, and we had Ral Zarek, most people were like, oh, we can never have Dack Fayden as a Planeswalker because we'll never have a blue-red, or even considerably blue-black Planeswalker. We already have Tezzeret before. Chances are we're not going to have him. He's kind of a comic book character who needs him. However, because Magic the Gathering conspiracy is going on, was found, seen, released. Somehow this pick frame was found from Magic the Gathering conspiracy, Dack Fayden, obviously, with art, and this was not just a cropped image. This was like a broken image almost. So we see he's got a +1 here. He's a Planeswalker. He's probably blue-red, just in terms of the art. Blue-black tends to be a little more sinister. And the question is he a Magic the Gathering conspiracy? So this doesn't really tell us anything at all. But some smarter people than I were able to find a way to ink pattern reconstruct somehow this much of the card that we see. So if we can look at a mock-up. I don't know the exact method you can find on MTG Salvation, but if we go look here, someone did a mock-up of it, so we can see a little better. The important thing to notice is that it appears he might have 3 abilities, but what they did is, since Jace the Mind Sculptor was kind of revealed in a similar manner, they're worried that this will be a 4-mana Planeswalker in Conspiracy because it's not standard modern legal at the moment, or many of the cards aren't, and so this could very well work out in that way, that it could be as powerful as Jace in a sense, and have 4 abilities. But as this person mocked up, it showed Jace's picture is smaller. It's going to be very hard for them to fit 4 abilities onto the image as we see it so far. Chances are it's going to be a 3-ability Planeswalker. I just thought to mention that. Then someone did a full mock-up on Mythic Spoiler, and we can actually blow it up. Let's blow it up and take a look. So this is the full mock-up, and these abilities are not necessarily what the abilities are, but if we go and look, this is the abilities we know for sure there. Target player probably draws to something, 2 cards. -2, gain control of T. It's probably target something. And then -6 is you get an emblem, cut off, a spell that targets. Okay, so we don't really have very much, but someone speculated and said maybe it's something like this. And I'm going to give you my thoughts about it. 3 mana Planeswalker for 3, which is well costed, definitely aggressive, good for competitive play. I mean, Leon Veil is something. Target player draws 2 cards and discards 2 cards. Since it's a draw 2 cards, I would have thought draw 3 cards, discard 2 cards, but this is basically Faithless Looting, which does relate as a blue-red that could connect to blue-red. Faithless Looting. Draw 2, discard 2. +1 seems reasonable. Pretty good card draw. Good with Reanimator. Interesting thing. -2, gain control of target. That we knew for sure. They said target artifact because he's a thief. I would think it's also because we are limited in terms of the space on the card. Based on the mock-up, you can't force too much text. There's probably one line right here. So it's probably a target artifact. I would have thought target artifact or enchantment, but target artifact actually makes a lot of sense to me. I don't think it would be target permanent. If it was target permanent, that would definitely push it into the realm of legacy playable, I would think. Having a Faithless Looting effect, which is great, and having a target permanent, that would be also ridiculous. But I'm thinking artifact could very well be likely. I would think this is crazy if it was target permanent, or maybe non-creature permanent, or something like that. You get an emblem with. We just saw you get an emblem with a spell that targets. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature, untap it and gain control. I don't like this ability. I don't think this is what it would be. It doesn't fit Dack Fayden's flavor. I don't like it. I would think something you get an emblem with that when a spell targets a permanent you control, then you redirect it or something like that. And that way, it's very hard to spot remove anything. It's very hard to target or play around with your creatures. And if you do, you can turn it back on them, or you can move around the ability. It would be great against potentially be great against burn. It would be great against various kinds of storm. It would be great against really powerful removal, etc., etc., etc. I think that ability, where you get an emblem that the spell can be retargeted from a permanent anytime whenever an opponent casts a spell, you can retarget it, because that could very well fit here. You get an emblem with the target player. If an opponent casts a spell that targets something you control, you can retarget it. I think that would be very, very much blue-red flavor. And so now I've talked for quite a while about Dack Fayden. This is all speculation, realize, except for the playmats, which you guys can also comment on. But I'd like to hear your thoughts, so put them down below in the description of the video. Who do you think Dack Fayden will be, and his abilities, and also his mana cost and everything. I think 3 for 3 sounds reasonable. Put those comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, tap the like button. If you're new to the channel, check in and subscribe. As always, Roxbox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.